Hey everyone, Val here, and it's time for another cooking collab. So this month is hosted by me, and we're going to have a picnic in the park. So come on along. Everybody in the collab is going to be making something and bringing it to the picnic. So I'm hosting this morning from my sister's house up in New York. And we're going to be making some Italian green beans. Now, I'm not Italian, but I wanted to find a different recipe that I haven't tried before. So I went online and I found a really nice recipe. And the way I do it is I find a recipe with ingredients that I like, and I may add something to it, I may take something away, but I make it my own. So this is going to be my version, and I hope it turns out wonderful, of Italian green beans. So come on along. And then I'm going to link everybody's channel that's participating in this collab in the description box below. And go over to their channels and see what they're making to bring to the picnic in the park. So June is a wonderful time for picnics. So go and visit their channels and let me know what you would bring to the picnic. Put that in the comment section below. So let's check out the ingredients. So my sister's kitchen is set up a little different from mine, so be patient with me. All right, so of course the star of the show is the green beans, and I have some fresh green beans here that I brought with me. I'm gonna put some mushrooms in there, some fresh mushrooms. And fresh vegetables are wonderful in the summer. So anytime you can get fresh vegetables or fruits or whatever to cook with, that's the best way to go. Get away from all that canned stuff. But I have some green onions. I'm going to be sauteing with some olive oil. I have garlic, and this is not fresh garlic, but I do the cheater method. So I have the garlic here. I have some salt and pepper. And I have some diced tomatoes. And yes, I could dice my own tomatoes and my own onions and celeries and green peppers, and that would be wonderful too. But I am putting some fresh onions in there. But these have celery and green peppers in there, green bell peppers. You could use fresh, but I'm going with the canned. And then some Parmesan cheese. Okay, so let me get set up and we'll get started. The first thing we're going to do is to clean and prepare all these wonderful vegetables. So I have a colander, and I'm going to rinse off all of the dirt off my mushrooms, and I'm going to be cutting the mushrooms up. I'm going to rinse off my onions. I'm going to cut my beans and rinse my beans. So let's get started with the first step. I'm going to go ahead and rinse the onions and the mushrooms, and then we'll be right back to finish up. Alright, I have my my mushrooms and my onions rinsed. I'm just going to pop the stems out of the mushrooms and just slice them. So you just want them sliced about that much, and I'm going to put them aside into a bowl. I want a nice piece of an onion, or a nice piece of a mushroom in my green beans. I like a nice bite. So I'm cutting each one about 3 pieces. I'm not going to use the stems. Make decent sized pieces out of those. Alright, let me finish up my mushrooms, and I'll come back and we'll do the onions. Have my mushrooms all chopped up, and now I'm going to do my green onions. And I'll do a couple at a time here, but I'm just going to take the ends down here and cut them off. We're going to use some of the green, but we're not going to use all of the green. Okay, and then I'm going to cut the tops off here, so we don't want the root. So we'll just throw that in there. My sisters love fresh vegetables. They eat a lot of fresh vegetables. I need to work on that because I'm not eating as many fresh vegetables as I should, but now that I'm retired and have a little more time to prepare my foods, I'm going to start eating healthier. So I'll get those messed up with my green beans. So what I'm going to do is that little piece of skin off there is just cut these into small pieces like this. This is all going to saute down with the onions. And we'll use some of the green. Not all of it. I think that's probably good. I think that's as far down as I want to go with the green. So I'm going to cut the rest of these and put them in with my mushrooms here, and we'll be right back. Alright, now that I have my mushrooms and my onions in here, I'm going to add a nice teaspoon or so of my garlic. I'm going to add it right into here. All this stuff is going to be sauteed on the stove together. So I think, you know what, I'm going to add just another touch of garlic. And if you like garlic, we like garlic. If you like garlic, you can add as little or as much as you want. And like I said, you can make any recipe your own. So if you don't like mushrooms, don't put mushrooms in. If you don't like onions, don't put onions in. But make the recipe how you're going to enjoy it. Because recipes can be altered to your liking. So I'm going to just set this aside, and I'm going to get ready to do my green beans. And all I'm going to do with my green beans is I'm going to cut off the ends here, the stem end. I'll get rid of that spoon there, get that off my plate, and just kind of look at them and see if the ends need to be trimmed off. It looks like the people who processed these did a pretty good job at clipping ends, but I'm just going to double check them all, and if the ends need to be cut off, I'll cut the ends off, and then I'm going to put them in my colander here to be washed. So I'm going to go through my whole pack and just trim off any ends that need to be trimmed off. Alright, let me finish this and we'll get ready to do some cooking. Alright, I'm going to turn this burner on and I'm going to put it on a medium setting, and I'm going to put some olive oil in there to warm up. So I'm going to go ahead and saute my onions and my mushrooms and my little bit of garlic, but I'm going to let the pan heat up for just a moment, and we'll be right back. Okay, my oil is warm. I'm going to add in my onions, mushrooms, and garlic, and we're going to saute this down. This may take, 5 minutes or something. So let me turn that up just a notch. So let me start sauteing this and we'll come back. Alright, my onions and mushrooms are cooking up nicely. And you want them to cook down pretty good. So it's probably still going to be another 4 or 5 minutes. It's only been a minute or so. Look how wonderful that's looking. It smells wonderful too. Mushrooms are cooking up nicely. Okay, I'm going to probably give it another minute or so, and then we'll continue on with the next step. Alright, this is cooked down nicely. I'm going to leave the little bit of moisture that's in there because that's not going to hurt anything. That's all good flavors. And I'm going to take this off the burner and I'm going to move this pot over. I need the larger pot for my beans. So, I'm just warming this up now. And I'm going to transfer my mushrooms and onions and my garlic into the large pot. Get all that goodness out of the pan. And I'm going to add in a can of the diced tomatoes. And the second can. We're going to let that cook a little bit. I have some Italian seasoning that I grabbed out of my sister's cabinet. And I'm going to put a little bit of Italian seasoning in there. Just a few shakes. Give it a little bit of extra flavor. I'm going to add a little bit of salt in there. Just a touch. I don't add a whole lot of salt to my food. And then a little bit of black pepper. Alright, that's wonderful. So I'm going to let these tomatoes cook down just a little bit. Get all the flavors incorporated. I'm going to let this cook down maybe about 5 minutes or so. And we'll come back and add our beans to it. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. I'm going to cut this heat back just a little bit. It's on probably a little bit less than medium. And this is the point where I'm going to add my beans in there. Throw them all in there. And try to toss them around a little to get them to start to cook down. I'm going to put this down on like almost low and just put a top over it, and I'm going to cook it. I'm going to put it on like 10 minutes and come back and see how it's looking. But I want the beans to be cooked. I like a little bit of crunch in my beans. I don't like soggy beans. So I'm going to try to let them cook down for about 10 minutes and then come back. There is still a little bit of moisture in here for cooking. If it starts to dry out, I will add a little bit of water to it. But right now, I think there's enough moisture in there to steam these beans. So let me put a lid on it, and we'll come back in about 10 minutes. It's been 15 minutes. I added maybe 3/4 of a cup of water to it and turned it on a medium heat with the cover on it, and I've cooked it for about 15 minutes. It's still not quite as cooked as I want it, so I've turned it down to a low heat, and I'm going to cook it another 15 minutes. It is going to be cooked a little bit at my sister's house because we've got to warm it back up. So, like I said, I don't want it mushy, but I don't want it undercooked either. So I've reduced the heat to low, and I'm going to put the lid back on and cook it another 15 minutes. I'm going to set my timer again for another 15 minutes. My timer just went off, and my beans should be done, so I am going to turn them off. And they look good. They look really good at this point. So I am happy with that. I'm going to take them off the heat and put them in a bowl to transfer them over to my sister's house. And then when we go to eat them for dinner tonight, she can warm them up in a pan, which they're still at the point where they're a little bit tender in there. So, if you can see that. Okay. Ooh, it's hot. So, I think they're perfect. So, we're going to add the Parmesan cheese. Just garnish it a little bit with Parmesan cheese when you serve it, like so, and it'll be ready to go. So tell me what you think. Would you do this recipe? Would you alter the recipe? Put it in the comment section below. Alright, our beans are done. So I'm going to give them a little taste test, because you always want to taste your food before you take it for other people to eat it. Beans are cooked perfect. I like the taste of the tomatoes and the garlic and the mushrooms. That's wonderful. I think it's perfect. I don't think there's anything I would change. I think it's going to work out fine. So I'm going to put it into a pan to take it over to my sister's, and we will need to warm it up again because we're not going to be eating our picnic until this evening. But I wanted to go ahead and cook the beans so that I could share the recipe with everybody. I hope that you'll try it and you'll enjoy it. I hope that you will check out everybody else's recipe that they're making for the picnic. In the description box below, you'll find the link to their channels. Thank you all for supporting our once a month cooking collabs. It's always a lot of fun. Next month, Roy over at Recipes with Roy will be hosting the collab, and our collab will be summer desserts. And let me check my cheat sheet really quick here. It's summertime snacks and sweets, and that will be on July 16th. So be looking out for that. And that's Recipes with Roy is hosting that, and we're gonna all see what we can come up with. I'm not sure what I'm coming up with yet. But let me get my beans together. We got to head over to my sister's house and got to go pick up my mom. It's good seeing the family and being in New York. If you want to see what we're doing while we're up here, check out the videos that I've been posting. And you can see what we've been doing in New York, as well as the cruise that we just went on. And we're going to be heading to Alaska at the end of July. So make sure you come by my channel and check out those videos also. I want to thank you again. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed and you want to. And I'll catch you all on the next video. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye now.